Welcome back to MeatballCraft episode 3. Today we're going to be getting into magic mods. Now the only problem at the moment with the magic mods is we are waiting for pure Certus quartz to be finished. So hopefully that will be done soon. And when we get that, we're going to start getting into blood magic. However, it appears they are only at 33%, so maybe we can find a way to speed up their growth. To speed up the growth of the pure fluix crystals, we need crystal growth accelerators, which are very easy to craft, except they require energy from an energy acceptor. We saw this recipe last episode and it does take redstone chipsets. They require the assembly table, which is made like this, which is actually fairly easy, and lasers. The more lasers you have, the quicker the assembly table will work, and that requires emberstone. It also requires redstonia, and the way to make redstonia is by using the atomic reconstructor from Atch Editions, which is also a fairly easy recipe. Refined iron is just gained from smelting iron, and I already made some up earlier, so we should be able to get that fairly easily. Okay, so that's making us redstone chipsets pretty fast. I have 20 lasers in a temporary setup like this. It should just spit them out when they're done. I think maybe if I put a crate underneath it, it'll export into that, but I'm not sure. Do not have enough power to power all these lasers, however, so I might have to reduce the amount just so that we get the most efficient use out of the ones that are working. To remedy the power problem, I checked the energy cell and it wasn't actually depleting at all, so the problem was not the power usage, but it was more to do with the energy cable. See, even with all of this working, it's breaking even on the power. So I've made some ender energy conduits from some of the alloys we made, and these can transfer 20,000 RF per tick, and this produces 40,000 RF per tick. These hardened cables that I was using only transfer 4,000, so that was the problem more than the power. So hopefully this will be done pretty quick. We've got the quartz and the redstone chipsets making up in here. Mind you, with these lasers, it's still pretty slow, so we'll be able to make at least one energy acceptor, which is all we really need, to be honest. This is also a temporary setup just to get this sorted out so we can get into blood magic. I will be moving it to a more permanent location later on. And now we have the energy acceptor. I have come across a snag now. To make the crystal growth accelerators, we need ME glass cable, which is also what we need to power them anyway, and all applied energetics devices. However, these ME cables look simple enough with the fluix crystals and the quartz fiber. However, in this mod pack, the quartz fiber recipe has changed to require clear glass from the smeltery and Certus quartz dust, as well as an ascended jade by using the crafting core and do combination crafting to make 6. So that puts a bit of a spanner in the works. To make the crafting core is fairly simple, more black iron and a black iron frame, and the pedestals are also fairly simple as well. We still have plenty of black iron left over, and I'm making the metal plates now, so hopefully we will actually be able to make these. In order to make the clear glass that we need to make the quartz fibers, I have made a basin upgrade for the smart output and put lots of sand in the smeltery, so this will cook up. There's still some redstone in here from when I was trying to make signalum ages ago. So yeah, if I put plenty of sand in here, it should all cook up and then automatically turn into the glass that we need. I'm going to put this here temporarily. Hopefully this will work. I've made a little janky setup out here with the rest of the janky setups, and I have 3 crystal growth accelerators. Hopefully these will work. I don't know if they have to be facing a specific way or not to work, but these are on 42%, so if I just chuck these in here, hopefully this will help speed up the growth. It's already at 45 and it's only been in there a few seconds, so hopefully by doing this we'll have pure fluix crystals in no time. And we now have pure fluix crystals just like that. That was much quicker than waiting and was worth a little bit of extra crafting. To start off in blood magic, we are going to need the blood altar. This is a recipe, which is why we need the pure fluix crystals. We've already got some runium from mining before. Everything else is easy, but we do need a demonic will. And the way to get the demonic will is to hit enemies with rudimentary snares until particles appear and then kill them. So I've waited till it's night time, which luckily it was just about to be when I decided to do this. So hopefully we'll be able to find some mobs and kill them. I'm not sure if it works on other mobs from different mod packs. He's just gone invisible, so he's not a good test. We have this guy, we'll test the rudimentary stairs out on him. Okay, see, he's got particle effects. Now if I shoot him, he'll drop a will, and this one's 1.23. They all have different will qualities, The bigger the better, but for crafting we want quite a weak one. So I'm going to collect a few more of these while it's night time, and then we'll get on with blood magic. I've been out and I found quite a lot of wills, so now we can have the blood altar, and we need to check what will this has. We don't want to give it a good quality, we want to give it the worst one we have, so that would be this one, 1.12, and now we have a blood altar. To be able to contain all these demonic wills into one item, we can use the Hellfire Forge to make a Tartaric gem, and the basic Tartaric gem is made like this, and we can use will from one of the souls that we already have, and we get the gem. This has decreased the will quality by 1. So if we then drop these on the floor, instead of picking them back up again, they will charge the gem. The blood altar is a multi-block, but we're going to put it here for now just to make the first couple things that we need. To get blood, you right click and sacrifice your own health. If we have 2000 LP in there, which I think we do, you can turn this diamond into a weak blood orb. I've moved this because I thought it wasn't working, but I think the process just takes a really long time. I did wait longer over here. Obviously something wasn't working, so it's over here for now. We can also turn stone into blank slates, like so. We can use the blank slates and the blood orb to make blank runes. In this pack, they have EMCs, so it will be much easier to make the blood altar. You can then make different runes that do different things, such as a speed rune, which speeds up production, and self-sacrifice rune, so when you hurt yourself, you actually get more blood. The altar is quite a big structure. Hopefully we can find a nice place to put it in the base. I now have a tier 3 blood altar. I have prepared the levels for 4, 5 and 6. We need some bloodstone tiles for tier 4, which needs a bound blade. And we just need 4 beacons and then some crystal clusters, which we haven't got quite yet. Currently though, none of the runes are upgraded, so we're going to work on making some speed and some self-sacrifice runes for now. Eventually it's probably more ideal to use mobs to make essence, but for now we're going to go for the self-sacrifice route. I now have the apprentice blood orb, which will allow me to make the self-sacrifice and the speed runes. I've set up a little automation here for the blank slates. So basically stone gets taken out of this crate and one gets retrieved at a time by the resonant retriever. If you retrieve multiple at a time, it takes longer and more blood, and so you could easily drain out the blood before any turn into slates. This one will then, when it is done for the first time, will then be extracted into this crate by this resonant server, which has got a whitelist on it. So hopefully this will mean that we can get some slates a bit faster. It is taking a really long time at the moment, so speed runes are going to be essential, and to get them we need the blank slates, so fingers crossed it doesn't take as long as it seems. I'm just making a divination sigil using the arcane ashes. There it is. It's a fun little mechanic. You put stuff on the ground and right click. I never used it before, that's why I was giving it a go myself. This will tell us how much blood is in the altar. Currently we've got 943 out of 10,000 buckets. Okay, if I put the arcane ashes on the floor, add the binding reagent, and then add the diamond sword, we now have the bound blade. This will allow us to get the blood shard to upgrade the altar to the next tier. For the bound blade to work, we need to store blood in our life network. We can do this with any of the orbs, but they all have different capacities, so I'm going to make the next tier, which is the tier 3 orb, using a gold block. I've added a few more runes of sacrifice. These ones don't work. I've got confused. I thought this was the tier 3 level, but tier 1 technically is just a one on its own. Okay, this needs a lot of blood apparently. To make the tier 3, I think that's the magician art, 25,000 LP, and we currently have 10,000 in the altar, so I'm going to move some of the runes around and see if we can get this. Let's try that again. We have 19,000 in the network, and when this gets down far enough, then we'll use the knife again. Okay, and there we go. We have the magician's blood orb. Bind that to our blood network. So I'm going to fill this in one more time and then fill the blood network so we can use the bound blade. If I don't do that, the bound blade will just sacrifice my health currently to fill it. And it didn't take very long, but we got the weak blood shard from one of the zombies in this tower. It was so fast I didn't even have time to film it. Next, I would like to get into Botania, so I've cleared out a little space here just by the front doors. It'll be nice and green by the time we get back, but first we need to go and collect some mystical flowers. And And that is a little automated mana setup to get started with Botania. I'm just using these ender flames for now. They produce mana, goes into here. We don't get very much, but before we get better generating flora, this is pretty good and also automatic. The next step in Botania after setting up the runic altar is to make some runes. However, in this pack the recipe has been changed a bit. For example, we need pufferfish, crab claws and whale fins to be able to make the rune of water, and for the rune of fire we need poison glands, manulin and purple blaze. And this is the same sort of nonsense for all the different runes. They go back to normal once we get onto the other runes, but the base runes that we need the most of do require these mob drops. These will get consumed in different recipes, so it's good to have the ability to automate the runes. So I'm going to see if I can collect the mobs required. Most of these drops that we need excess are mob drops or have EMC. So I'll see if I can make enough mob imprisonment jewels to be able to spawn things like the crabs and the whales. I've captured all the mobs we need, so now we can start spawning. There is a slight problem with the mob spawning chamber, and that is, because it's made of iron bars, the fire from the scorches has been getting out and burning down the forest. I managed to stop it before it got too much of the base. It just got this one log of great wood. There we go, that's all fixed. However, yeah, so that's not good. Most of the base is made of wood. If that happened again, I'm sure we'd have very serious problems. So I'm going to change this to dark glass. I might also make a... oh, look, a stair's gone there as well. I might also make a mob crusher to kill them as well. I'm not getting many drops, but yeah, then I can turn the mob crusher off if I want to, or keep it on. So yeah, I'm gonna change this to dark glass. We now have a few runes to be able to start getting into some of the gadgets from Botania. The main thing I wanted from Botania was a Sojourner's Sash, which provides speed and also auto step and also a bit of a jump boost, so that just makes getting around a little bit easier. It's a little bit faster, so that's good. I've also made the terrestrial agglomeration plate to make terra steel. We need a half-filled pool of mana, and I just used some of that to fill my band of mana to be able to use the sash, so just wait a little while for that to produce. We will develop better ways of making mana soon. I think one of the best ones is the Kekemoris. I've used this one before, but it does require a pixie dust, which requires the Elven Trade Portal. So we will probably make that after we've done that. This eats cakes, and I think if I check, cakes have EMC. So that'll be a very easy thing to automate with some mechanical uses filled with cake. A nice quick way to get living rock is to put stone at the bottom and then use a builder's wand to place all the stone for you. It just makes things a little quicker. While waiting for half a mana pool to get enough terra steel to be able to make the Elven Gateway portal, I have added a few more ender flames to the setup, and I've also changed from coal to blaze rods, as I think this is a better fuel source, and basically any resource that's got EMC is infinite at this point. We get so much red matter from the setup over there, so there's no risk using that instead. So hopefully this speeds up a little bit. We still need quite a bit of mana to open the Elven Gateway portal as well, so the more we can get the better. To make terra steel, I'll put 1 mana pearl, 1 mana steel and a mana diamond onto the terrestrial agglomeration plate. I'm using sparks to transfer the mana from one to the other, and after about half a pool of mana we should get terra steel. Ta-da! 1 terra steel. I've also added a potency velocity composite lens to the mana spreader as it was completely full, so this should hopefully speed up gaining mana into the mana pool. If you shoot a lava projectile from the Vulcanite amulet into the sky, it turns the rain off, which is very, very useful, and I will be using that from now on. We gained enough mana to be able to open the Elven Gateway portal, just like this. So the first thing to chuck through is the Lexx Botania, to upgrade it to Alfheim Knowledge, and then we can chuck other things in, such as Mana Steel, which will get us Elementium. It's 2-to-1 ratio. Then we can chuck in Mana Pearls to get Pixie Dust, which will help us get the Kekemoris. Oh, Mana Powder obviously doesn't get you anything, I thought it did, and some Mana Diamonds gets you Dragonstone, so that can stay open now. It just apparently take a lot of mana to open, though not actually as much as I thought. It used to be half a mana pool, I thought, but it seems that it's only taken a tiny bit down really, so we can leave that open and refill them if necessary, though I didn't ever recall having to do that before. Then we can get on with making things like the Kekemoris, which will help improve mana production. And here is our Kekemoris system. So we have 4 mechanical users which place cakes, which I've just stuffed full. I can use EMC later to automate this fully, but right now this should be enough. And this pours mana into here, and as you can see, getting it at such a fast rate, even the mana spreader can't use it. So I might have to change this a bit, make a few more mana spreaders just to keep up with the complete rate of all this mana that's being spread. But apart from that, it's pretty simple system. A quick update on this system, I've got now an Elven mana spreader per cake with potency, velocity, lens all going into this mana pool. I will make a better mana storage setup with some more mana pools and some sparks in a minute. I've put a recessive augment on this spark, so all the mana in here will disperse to nearby mana pools. So here we have a giant mana battery, which should hopefully keep us going for now. And I've also put sparks on these two just to keep them filled. Hopefully with all this mana we're producing, I mean, look, these are already filling up pretty well. I put these ones down a bit later, but you know, they're already filling up quite a lot. So I think mana production is good for now. We can probably end up making it better. This system's very easy to expand. We can do it very easily. So mana doesn't seem to be too much of a problem anymore. I'm now going to attempt Guardian of Gaia fight. I actually haven't ever done this before. Don't know why, I just haven't. So I'll give this a go. I've got a mega torch here, my spawn set. Hopefully this is how it works. Okay, hopefully that's big enough now, so let's give this a go. Oh my goodness, my health's gone down very far, I didn't even notice. Well, that's him done. Okay, I've got my Gaia Spirit ingot. We're gonna eat the relic apple. We're gonna eat the golden apple. I'm gonna give this a go. All 5 fights are done, and with that we have 5 fighters of fate, as well as some greater Gaia spirits, tons of normal Gaia spirits, and some wills which you can apply to terrasteel helmets. So now we have these, you can see what's in them. So we've got the fruit of Grisaia. I don't know what that... Oh, you seem to be able to eat it. Don't know if I should do that. The Ring of Odin, which gives you an additional 20 health points. Oh, and you become immune to suffocation, drowning, fire, lava, starvation, and fall damage. We'll be putting that one on. Do we have another slot for the Band of Mana? Okay, now we've got tons of health, so that's pretty nice. We have the Eye of the Flugel. Also not sure what that one does. The Key of King's Law. Oh. Oh, that's pretty fun. Maybe we should eat this then, just for fun. Oh, I can just eat that forever. So that's like infinite food forever. And then finally we have the Ring of Thor. And that just increases Terra Shatter range. So, I mean, the best one is the Ring of Odin. And we've got that. So it was worth all of those fights just for that. This pack also does have a Tier 3 Guardian of Gaia fight. It is in the Dimensional Ascension tab. Tier 3 Gaia Guardian. So I need a challenge ticket for this. I don't know what that's like. These two are fine, so I'm tempted to give this a go, but considering it's not a vanilla Botania thing, I'm worried it would be incredibly hard. So we'll see. The next thing I'd like to do is go to the Twilight Forest. However, normally all you'd need is a diamond to throw into a 2x2 pool of water to open the portal. In this pack, we need the Fluix lens. And to make the Fluix lens, we need an arcane workbench, which means getting in to Thaumcraft. We also need alchemical brass, so we will need to get into the crucible. So hopefully we can just dive into it for a little bit, not cause too much flux, get to the Twilight Forest and explore there. To start Thaumcraft, we need Salus Mundus, which is 3 different V crystals, redstone, a bolt, and some flint. I'll make 4 because I'm not quite sure how much I'll need to start with because it's been quite a while since I've played with Thaumcraft. With 4 alchemical brass, 4 crab claws, and a pure Fluix crystal, we can make the Fluix lens and go to the Twilight Forest. With some flowers around a pool of water, we'll chuck the lens in. And lightning strikes, and now we can enter the Twilight Forest. Okay, and here we are in the Twilight Forest. I will be using my jetpack to fly. I have done the Twilight Forest many times and I don't mind speeding along, so hopefully we can get this all done pretty fast. I've also got some mob imprisonment tools to capture a few of the mobs, or maybe even the bosses if I can do that, just to see. I've got more in here as well, so we'll see how we get on. I found the questing ram, which is normally incredibly hard to find, and he was just near the spawn, so that's nice. If I give him all of the wool, he'll give me a trophy or something. I've never actually done him, so nice to see you, questing ram. I'll hopefully come back for you. First boss, the Naga. Only seems to want to be hit on the head. Magic attacks done by these sort of enemies are so powerful. They hit so hard. Magic has definitely been buffed on this pack to be almost impossible, so best thing to do for that one was to avoid it. But that's the Naga dead. Lich down. Here's the next boss. Hydra time. I have full fire protection, so hopefully it'll go alright. Another one down. If we put this here, we can open the next bit. This is my least favourite part of the Twilight Forest because it always takes me so long to find the boss. With a lot of digging about, I have actually finally found the boss. I have no idea how you'd get to this area without digging. Let's go. He's dead. Gas time now. Okay, and she's dead. In here we should have the Alpha Yeti. Here he is. Oh, he's a boss one. Okay, he's dead, and I'm not quite sure what was going on with him, but he's dead, so that's all that matters. Now for the final boss of the Twilight Forest. Technically, there's meant to be another one, but it's not true. I should be able to just find out where she is by flying around and finding a hot bar. Oh, I found her by accident. Here she is. Let's fight. She's dead. She did drop the Mirkwood bow, which can be super enchanted to have power 18, infinity, and withering 6, so we'll probably end up doing that. That sounds like a good idea. We do need some Carmonite reactors made like this and some other things, but that's pretty much the Twilight Forest. There is a final boss, but they're not really implemented and never have been, so I think we did pretty well. Okay, technically the quest book wants me to do to the actual final boss, so I guess we'll be doing that instead. So I found the Giant's Island. I just flew up, and here are the giants. Okay, they're very easy to kill. I have my giant sword, my giant pickaxe. I found a troll cave. Are they trolls? They look like trolls. Okay, I've also found the trolls apparently, and some witches. I've also found this giant bit of obsidian, which I assume I meant to break. Okay, so I found some magic beans, which I assume was what actually probably meant to take us up to the castle, and the lamp of cinders, what we were looking for. I've actually gone back home now. The next part was to get some Harbinger crystals, fight Harbinger cubes, and honestly my inventory was full. So technically we finished the Twilight Forest up, but we will finish off with this bit, which includes the Crimson Cult, which is part of Thaumcraft later on. But for now we have done the main story of the Twilight Forest and have unlocked access to the resources that can be found there. According to the lore in the quest book, the crabs that we find on Terra, where we live, are actually from the Twilight Forest, which is pretty interesting. We've done a lot today, so I think that's a good place to wrap up the episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.